You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic AF. And I'm your host, Alanna.
I'm Kelsey.
And this is Alcatraz Part 2. If you didn't listen
Yeah.
to last week's, what the hell?
Oh, go back, listen to it right now. It was awesome.
That's the crimes. Now it's the history and the hauntings. Well,
Yeah.
there's usually history comes a little bit with hauntings because you're like, this person died and then he haunted here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be fun. I was just telling Kelsey off air that I get the big text from my brother after he listened to it, like just before we started
The
recording
lowdown.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was great. Yeah, he was like really liked the all the info, the Al Capone section, and he was talking about the guy I was talking
Yes.
about, Johnny Torrio, and telling me that the words I was looking for was bouncer in a brothel. And I was going, wait, we talked about what again? Because I hadn't edited that episode and forgot everything.
Yeah.
When you just hear it once, it's a lot of times you're like, what?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't remember it nearly as well as when you were the one editing that episode. You're just like,
it's
oh yeah, I remember that. Or
yeah,
if you
yeah.
weren't the
Because
one editing it, you don't remember any of it.
no, by the
It
time it comes out, it's been at least a week since you've recorded it. Usually a
yeah.
bit longer, hopefully, when we're
It's just like,
ahead.
do you remember every conversation you ever had with one of your friends? Could you quote it back? Could you quote back conversations?
And when you talk about so many murders, can you remember all the murders you talked about?
Or all the ghosts or haunted things or places?
Yeah. But it's always good. We like to get the feedback and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
um he was telling me something that I didn't know, which was sometimes considered a little preferred to say prisoners instead of inmates even. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Didn't know there was a little bit of a connotation to it, if you will. But
Yeah.
I tried to like when I was just just making sure my notes were typed up. Don't ask. I had some type, didn't print it. This is the problem when you print things out at work. Um, anyway, it's all good now, and we're ready for you. But she had a follow up to that too. I think you're just telling me.
Yeah, just a really quick tidbit. I had mentioned this thing about Al Capone's family being maybe responsible for expiration dates on milk, because I had heard this so
Oh,
many times before. I did end up looking
okay.
up a little bit about it. I read like 6 or 7 different sources, and it's not definitive. What I came
Hmm.
up with was that different versions of the same story kind of claim that Al Capone or his brother Ralph were the ones that lobbied for dates to be added to milk after a friend of theirs or a family member had become sick after drinking bad milk.
Hmm.
But this has never actually been confirmed to be true, but it's never actually been confirmed to be false. Uh, so it still gets passed around.
A little bit
But
of an
nothing I
urban
said.
legend, maybe truth, some truth in there. I like that.
Well,
Okay.
from everything I read, it said that they can't deny that it happened, but they can't confirm that it actually happened. So we might never actually know, it seems like. Because it
Hmm.
was even in stuff being like, this is the definitive, like, history of milk. And it was like, Jesus, I'm reading all this stuff. And I'm like, they're just like, yeah, we don't know either. And I was like, fuck, nobody
notable
knows.
notable milk historians don't
Yeah.
even know.
Maybe I need to reach
Yeah.
out to the people in charge of the Got Milk campaign and be like,
No, don't talk to Big Milk. Don't do
yeah,
it.
don't talk to Big Dairy.
Big Dairy.
Yeah,
Legendary.
but there's a bit of follow up from what I mentioned because
Okay.
I had heard of it so many times, and then I had kind of heard like it went back and forth on
Yeah.
whether or not it was true. So it seems like there's no definitive answer for that. So maybe,
I mean, someone had to have lobbied it at some point.
yeah,
We have them
exactly.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the sources continued being like, yeah, there's differences between like best before and expired, and they're talking about changing
Yeah.
best before to best if used by, and because best before kind of,
Mm. It
I guess
really,
it encourages people more, they're saying now, to like throw stuff out before maybe it actually is expired
yeah,
and it could
I
still be
think
good. I know
so.
my brother used to be really bad for that. He'd throw stuff out like the day it said. And it was like,
Even
well, you
without checking, like the yogurt or whatever.
yeah, it was like, well, you can sniff it, or even sometimes before that date if something smells bad or anything like that, you don't want to use it. So,
Exactly. You can't only go by what a box tells you or a
yeah.
bag. You have to use your own, yeah, your own nose and your own intuition and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, that smells pretty rank. I don't want to
Yeah.
put that in me.
Or this one's fuzzy and green. I'm not going to eat this
Oh,
anymore. Ah.
God. That one block of cheese we just couldn't seem to get through.
Oh wow. Well, cheese is okay. You can cut off, but if it's all through it,
Hmm.
there's no point. But
There was a lot of cutting off. Yep.
yeah. You're
Multiple.
dwindled down to a tiny little cube and you're like, "Oh, what was the point?"
Who keeps wrapping this like this? Ah! Yeah.
Yeah.
We looked at each other. It was the child.
Yeah. But I
That's
feel
funny.
like with your history and stuff, maybe you should go first this week.
What?
Yes.
We could do it. We could do it. What the
We'll switch it
hell?
up. It's been like 100 episodes since Alanna went first.
Probably.
I think she's gone first only a couple times. So
When we talking a mile a minute too, because we were doing it in the afternoon this time, and I just had a great big giant London fog from Tim
yeah.
Hortons.
Ooh, nice. I'm drinking
Tomatoes.
Coca-Cola with coffee. Uh
What?
yeah, they make Coca-Cola with coffee now. It's like
Oh my
delicious.
god.
So it
Not
tastes
from
like
the
Coke.
States.
No, they sell it at
Oh
Superstore.
my
When
god.
you drink it, it tastes like Coke, and then the aftertaste is like just a hint
Oh
of coffee.
my god.
It's really good.
Oh my god.
It's way better than I thought it
That's
would be.
odd.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not much of a Coke or a coffee person, so I would try it.
I'm not much of a Coca-Cola person. I don't drink a lot of pop, so but I like this one.
That's a unique. It's like that. They what did they
Yeah.
just? They were gonna come up with a different condiment just because Taylor Swift was
Ugh.
photographed dipping her stupid chicken wings in something that looked like ranch and ketchup. So they like made a
Ew.
bottle of ketchup and something that looked like ranch.
Oh, is
Like
that
what?
ranch up? I think I heard
Yeah.
about that.
I don't know what name they gave it. Everyone was just talking about it
Yeah.
on the couple different podcasts I listen to that'll talk about weird news snippets and stuff like that, like the
Uh,
Neatcast. And yeah, it's like, what are they going to call it? Retch up? It's like, oh,
yeah, just puke. Uh,
yeah.
I
Literally
know
sounds like a
my
combination of retch and throw up. Yeah.
yeah. I know my brother and sister-in-law, they like to buy the sriracha mayo. I can't
Oh,
remember what.
okay. Like a spicy
Yeah.
mayo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. It's like an
Uh,
aioli.
or is yeah. It's either sriracha or it's like chipotle mayo. One of those two. Whichever
Ooh.
whichever would make a better combined name, I'm sure is what they went with.
Chapeo.
Chipeo.
I don't know.
Sriracheo. I don't know.
I think Mr. Burns called mayonnaise mayon the other day. We were watching
Oh
some
wow.
newer Simpsons episodes. Oh,
With
anyway.
my Disney Plus, I did start watching Simpsons. I'm back to the very beginning.
Uh,
35 seasons ago or whatever. I'm in season 2 right now because season 1 only had like 11 episodes or something stupid. But
oh, they're very small.
one day I will get caught up. I will understand your references.
I think, yeah, I don't know. Most of my family stopped watching it a while ago. It got to be like, you're like, oh, they can only do this stuff so many times and still stay the same age
Yeah.
and never do anything else.
You have to
Okay.
suspend your disbelief.
That's why I
They
like
do
the
the
ones where
same
they
thing in
both Oh, sorry. They go show their future or something, and they're like, "Oh, Lisa becomes the
Oh,
president."
yeah.
Yeah.
They do that on Bob's Burgers. I think Tina has had 3 different birthdays. Uh, but
Okay.
she's still the same age. And so is and still looks the same, and you're like, "It's been 12 years, guys." Um, yeah. And they're just like, "Boo,
They
this like collection of episodes at summer holidays." And you're like, "Okay, but what grade are we in again? Because it always seems to be the same grade they're going back into." Yeah.
Yeah, they had Bob walk by from Bob's Burgers the other day on The Simpsons
Yes.
too.
They've
Of
had a
course,
couple
of course they
crossovers.
did.
They did a Simpsons crossover and they did an Archer crossover because the guy that voices
Okay.
Bob is the one that voices Archer. So they had like an Archer crossover. He goes, I think he something
Oh.
happens. He ends up in the restaurant and the whole family's just like standing there and he's like in the back and I think he just waves or something and then it ends up like um whatever like using a grappling hook or something to like leave the restaurant. And they're like, "Oh my god." Something like that. It was
Oh,
like
so
something really quick.
okay, Archer's that cartoon or whatever.
Yeah, it's like
Sorry.
James Bond kind of guy,
Uh,
super sleazy spy thing. But each season, the last few seasons has been like a totally different kind of like theme because he was in a coma for like
oh.
3 years. And
I
yeah.
get shows with similar names confused, so I was making sure because I was like, "Isn't there also there's also one called Arrow, but it's very
Oh,
different."
yeah. That's like
Apparently.
Marvel.
I think it is, yeah. I was like, "Wait, should I know who voices that guy?" No, okay.
No.
All right. So, fun facts, fun facts. Let's start with the fun facts. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Um Did you know where Alcatraz gets its name from?
No.
Um okay, it's named after pelicans actually.
Pelicans? Really?
Pelicans.
Like the big birds?
Apparently. Yes, because Spanish. So
Oh, okay.
it's
Because Spanish.
oh my god. I'm okay. I'm okay, guys. I just had a lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
Yes, I got some fun facts off the it was actually on like history.com, I think.
Always
But
good.
it is. I like history.com, but you guys know don't mind watching the History Channel where even though
Yeah.
I laugh when Gravity Falls makes fun of it by calling it they used to be about History Channel because that's also funny.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. So it said before criminals became its denizens, the windswept island was home to large colonies of brown pelicans. When Spanish Lieutenant Juan Manuel de Ayala sorry, became the first known European to sail through the Golden Gate in 1775, he christened the rocky outcrop La Isla de los Alcatraces. I'm so sorry, my Spanish. Meaning Island of the Pelicans. The name eventually became
Um.
anglicized to Alcatraz, so obviously the spelling is different. There was a few more C's before instead of
Oh,
the
okay.
Z. Yeah, instead of the Z or the Z for you Americans. It said, with the inmates gone, gulls and cormorants are now the most plentiful inhabitants of Alcatraz. It's gone to the
Okay.
birds again.
Yeah. Birdman of Alcatraz would be proud.
Gone back to the birds. But we all know birds aren't real, right? Because that was a conspiracy theory that somebody made up and then it
So,
stuck. Ugh.
so weird. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Have these
It
people
was
never seen like a bird hit a window and then like be dead before?
it was like a sociology experiment from like some
It's
college kid.
so weird. I don't know, things
They
that somebody could immediately disprove, like, I don't know, seeing a dead bird
mhm.
on the sidewalk and being like, all birds are robots or whatever they say. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, they
well,
could
have you ever
explain away
seen a dead
anything.
bird? Like, fuck, they're all over. They're just like dead crows and fucking
Oh, they
seagulls
make
and
it look like it's non-mechanical inside. They hide it real
oh my
good.
god.
No,
Jesus.
I love hearing about that one though. They actually covered the history of it on Creeps and Crimes. I think it might have been on their Patreon. I've been listening to, and yeah, it's like they say that like when they sit on the power lines, they charge up. That's them charging up.
Yes, I've heard that. And that's why they
Love
don't get
it.
electrocuted. It's
Right.
like, no, it's because they're not touching the ground.
Right. Okay. I was like, no, I know there's an explanation for this.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Um, After the prison stood dormant for 6 years, Native American activists occupied Alcatraz.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay, I
ran
don't know.
across
We might have
some
touched on that.
pictures of the
Okay.
sign. When I was trying to find a thumbnail to use for the episode, I was Googling
Ooh.
to see if there was like a welcome to Alcatraz sign or something like that.
Oh, nice.
And when I Googled welcome to Alcatraz, all that came up was all like the Native Americans that had like graffiti,
Oh.
like spray painted over the thing. And that's all I found. And I was like, I don't know the history of like what's happening in these pictures, so I'm not going to use that. So now
This
you can
seems
tell me.
politically charged. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good. Yeah, I have it
Yeah.
has a little bit on it, but not
Okay.
not to mention, speaking of the thumbnail, stupid like don't take us down for saying this, but Spotify or whatever
Oh, yeah.
being like or the
I had,
podcaster side being like, you can't use that. Your episode has been taken down, and me being like, what? This is spam, like, right, Kelsey?
yeah, I had posted it, and originally the episode title was going to be, um,
Tales from the Rock?
yeah,
That was
Tales from the
great.
Rock.
Yeah.
Um, because they call Alcatraz the Rock, and apparently Spotify, uh, or at least like Spotify for podcasters, like the
Yeah.
Anchor or whatever side of it, thought that it was about rock music because it said The Rock in the title. So they like took it down and deleted the episode on me. Like, I don't know, within 5 minutes of me making it
Making a draft
episode.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a draft. Even we got notified it had been taken down, and then it said learn here or click here to learn about why it was taken down. When I clicked into it, it said that the podcasting service should not be used to promote your music. And I was like,
Oh
well,
my
I
god.
meant The Rock as an Alcatraz, not rock music.
Or
And
songs by
clearly,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So
Oh.
I was like, well, clearly this was a robot and not somebody that
Oh my
even
god.
read what that title actually was or what the episode description was. So I was like, I'm just
So
gonna take
stupid.
a totally new title that definitely won't get taken down. But yeah.
Screw you. Yeah, that was dumb. Anyway.
Yeah.
The things we go through, you guys. The behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh man, we could talk about it on Patreon. I kind of like when people do that. You get the tea of what it's like really like. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
this, the struggle is real. The successes, the highs, the lows. All right. So yeah, after the prison stood dormant for 6 years, Native American activists occupied Alcatraz. Following two previous brief occupations, a group of nearly 100 Native American activists, led by Mohawk Richard Oakes, took over the island in November 1969.
Okay.
Citing an 1868 treaty that granted unoccupied federal land to Native Americans, the protesters demanded the deed to Alcatraz in order to establish a university and cultural center. Their proclamation included an offer to purchase the island for $24 in glass beads and red cloth, the same price reportedly paid by Dutch settlers for Manhattan in 1626. That's adorable.
Yeah. Wow.
Federal marshals removed the last of the protesters in June 1971, but some of their graffiti remains. When the National Park Service recently
Okay.
rebuilt an Alcatraz water tower, it made sure to repaint the red graffiti that read, peace and freedom, welcome, home of the free Indian land.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's what you were seeing, I guess.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't
Interesting.
make it out very clearly, but yeah, it was definitely in red. I
Right.
was wondering what that situation seemed to be about.
Interesting. Yeah, because I don't know much more about it other than, yeah, some Native American tribes like held beliefs about the island itself, which I have a little bit
Okay.
on, yeah, further on. um, I feel like we might have touched on this last week, or maybe I just remember reading it. Military prisoners were Alcatraz's first inmates. So once the gold rush of the 1840s turned San Francisco into a boom town, it's right. Fucking Letterkenny. Alcatraz was dedicated to military use. The U.S. Army began incarcerating military prisoners inside the new fortress in the late 1850s. During the Civil War, prisoners included Union deserters and Confederate sympathizers. The cells were also used to imprison Native Americans who had land disagreements with the federal government. So I think that
Oh,
refers
okay.
to the one we were just talking about also. American soldiers who deserted to the Filipino cause during the Spanish-American War, and Chinese civilians who resisted the army during the Boxer Rebellion. So it's had a few different groups come
Yeah.
through.
None of those sound great. So
I don't know much about the Spanish-American War, and I don't even think I've heard of the Boxer Rebellion, so...
I only know about the Boxer Rebellion because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh. That sounds like how I get most of my education and cultural references. Learned about it on The Simpsons. No.
Yeah, I think it was literally just that. Well, because I love Spike and his backstory.
Ooh.
So he killed his first
Oh.
Slayer during the Boxer Rebellion. Like, yeah, that's
Okay.
literally all I know about it. I know the name and that it
I love
occurred
it.
in history. That's all I know.
Right? Amazing. Hey, we're not a
Yeah.
history podcast, you guys. You
And that
just
there
be
were
polite about it.
vampires there, and
Ask the
yeah,
vampires about it. Okay.
yeah,
I did like Spike. Yeah, I always thought he was pretty hot.
yeah.
When they get their stupid little vampire face on and they're like all wrinkly. So funny.
Yeah, I haven't finished Carrying On because after the show ended, they continued publishing it. It's in like comic books now. Um,
Oh.
yeah, and her like because Spike came back to life. He was resurrected in the Angel spin-off, which was like one.
Spoiler.
It's been how many years? Which was like one season after Buffy the Vampire Slayer ended. And he had been
Mm.
resurrected, and Buffy hadn't found out yet. And then in the comic books, they find out, they get back together, and now they're in a spaceship. As
Oh
far
my
as I
god.
read, they were in a spaceship. Xander had lost his eye, and if I remember correctly, was dating Dawn, which I always thought was really creepy. And then Willow
Oh.
was dating somebody else.
Oh, Dawn was the little sister. Or
Yeah,
yeah, Buffy.
for
Okay,
some
yeah,
reason I think Xander and Dawn ended up together, but Spike and Buffy are still together. But they're on a
well, that's good.
spaceship. They're on a spaceship for some reason,
I
flying through
mean,
outer
why
space, because that
not?
makes sense. Yeah. Uh
Comics.
yeah. That's like season 8. I think I got halfway through season 8, they call it.
It's the
In the
what if
comic
of
books.
Buffy instead
Yeah,
of the Marvels
basically.
what if.
But it's
Mm.
like canon. I think it is like Joss Whedon and all that stuff that's associated
Mm.
with it. He's still writing it. And yeah, so it is
Crazy.
still official canon as far as I'm aware. But
I did
yeah.
not know that.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh well. Anyway.
Right. Okay, a couple more of the facts. Alcatraz was home to the Pacific Coast's first lighthouse. Love a lighthouse. They're so
Yeah.
lonely and forlorn looking. Well, and the lighthouse mysteries. Ah.
Yeah.
So this one has one. When a small lighthouse on top of the rocky island was activated, interesting word, in 1854, it became the first of its kind on the west coast of the United States. The beacon became obsolete in the early 1900s after the U.S. Army constructed a cell house that blocked its view of the Golden Gate. A new, taller lighthouse replaced it in 1909. Oh, okay, I have them more on the. But it's something happened to the lighthouse keeper, but I have it's further down.
Okay.
I got a lot of info.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, maybe you should start. This is fun.
I mean, like, yeah. This was a really good topic. I'm glad we did 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's cool to get to cover both sides. Some of the prisoners
Yeah.
and some of the ghosts.
Yeah, I
They're
like
kind
that.
of tied together.
Exactly. Um, so inmates would request transfers to Alcatraz, which I was not aware of.
Really? Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
hadn't heard that before.
obviously, you guys don't know until you've been there. I don't know if anyone requested transfers back ever, but it does say. While Alcatraz was certainly not Club Med, its tough as nails reputation was a bit of a Hollywood creation. The prison's one man per cell policy appealed to some inmates because it made them less vulnerable to attack by fellow jailbirds. Alcatraz's
Okay.
first warden, yeah, the one cell, that makes sense. Um, Alcatraz's first warden, James A. Johnston, knew poor food was often the cause of prison riots, so he prided himself on serving good food, and inmates could return for as many helpings as they wanted. Inmates who behaved had access to privileges, including monthly movies and a library with 15,000 books and 75 popular magazine subscriptions. I mean, I like my books.
Yeah, back in the 1930s, that was probably huge.
Yeah, like you're not going to get TVs. Like, they're not
Yeah,
a thing. Overall, some prisoners considered the conditions inside Alcatraz to be more attractive than at other federal prisons, and several asked to be moved there.
especially probably too because it was fairly new, like built and
Yeah,
all that
maybe.
stuff. So maybe some of the older prisons aren't well maintained. So maybe
Everybody's
conditions
going
were.
there. All the
Yeah.
escapees, Al Capone and
Yeah, all the cool people are there. That's the it
Machine
place
Gun
to be.
Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the it prison.
Okay, so this one is fun and ties into last week's escape scenario. It was possible to swim to shore. Federal officials
Ooh.
may have initially doubted that any escaping inmates could survive the swim to the mainland across the cold, swift waters of San Francisco Bay, but it did happen. In 1962, prisoner John Paul Scott bent the bars of a kitchen window and swam to shore.
Oh, that's
Fro,
cool.
Fro didn't even build a raft.
Yeah, he's like, I am the raft.
He was so exhausted upon reaching the foot of the Golden Gate Bridge that police discovered him lying unconscious in hypothermic shock. So it didn't
Okay.
work out that well.
Yeah. But he
And
made it. That's
yeah,
something. That's
I'm
cool.
like, no thanks. It says today hundreds complete the 1.5-mile swim annually during the Escape from Alcatraz triathlon. Like, what the
Okay. I
hell?
felt like there was something in that area about swimming that I had heard
Oh,
before.
not for me.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
sounds
I
chilly.
mean, I would be way too tired. I couldn't do it ever.
Oh God, I
But that's
can't
kind of
run for
cool that people
shit.
do it.
Yeah, yeah. Like, good for you. Lucille Blue.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
um okay, so this was I liked this how this quote described what it was like being so close to shore like that you could possibly swim. I thought that tied in. This is from Found SF. I come a lot of websites that are like San Francisco or SF Gate, and
Yeah.
I swear the computer probably thinks, "What do you live there?" Or like,
Yeah.
anyway. Life on the Rock included the dubious pleasures of watching luxury liners cruise off to ports unknown, the lights of the San Francisco skyline twinkling invitingly, while inmates spent anywhere from 19 to 24 hours a day in a 5 by 9 foot cell. On some nights, inmates could hear the wealthy partying at the St. Francis Yacht Club across the bay, their happy shouts punctuated by the tinkle of feminine laughter.
Sorry.
I
What
know,
are we,
only
Great
feminine.
Gatsby? Like, fuck.
Little wonder that suicides and murders were a regular occurrence. I mean, that would be annoying. You can hear
Yeah.
them at the yacht
People
club.
having fun. How dare they? How dare they have fun?
Yeah. And then it said that one of the worst incidents was an attempted escape in May 1946 that turned into a bloody standoff and left 3 men dead. The Block C unit where the inmates died is believed by some National Park employees to be haunted. Strange clanging noises break out at night from the empty corridor but stop as soon as the watchman opens the door.
Ooh, creepy.
Yeah. Cell blocks A and B too have had their share of weird incidents. Employees have heard mysterious screams, running footsteps, and loud crashing sounds there. So yeah, gonna get into some of the haunts.
Yeah.
So excited. What is wrong with me?
It's the caffeine. You don't normally drink caffeine. You normally are drinking alcohol.
Yeah, that's normally that getting me hyper. They both have sugar. We used to joke that my poor sister Ressa, sorry, but we'd say you bounce off the walls when she'd have ice cream.
Aww.
Yeah. But gotta get that shugs. Some Native American tribes, like the I'm not sure if it's Miwok or Miwok, Miwok. Miwok people believed the island itself to be haunted and called it the Evil Island.
Okay.
I know. I was like, all right, maybe that's why they wanted it. Make sure nobody really goes there.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the lighthouse's first ever keeper was found dead under suspicious circumstances, and some say he still inhabits the area after his death. I don't know how he died. I couldn't find more.
Aw.
I know. Some stuff just has little blurbs, and you're like, what? Such a tease.
Yeah. Yeah. I ran across that too when I was trying to look up stuff, and I was like, damn it, this is so short.
Yeah, someone's have like one little more detail, but that's it. And you're like, you can't spend any more time on it. Other unexplained disappearances have been known to occur to prisoners and visitors alike. One night, a whole group of prisoners up and vanished from their cells, later found wandering the prison in a dazed and disoriented state.
Ooh, that's really weird.
I know. If I could deep dive on anything, I would like to look more into that. If there's anything at all, I'm like, what?
That sounds creepy.
Right?
They were abducted by aliens.
Right? Like, is there a portal here? Is this like some Stranger Things, like upside down? Oh, all right. I have to take a drink. Oh no, I'm out of water. I have to have more London Fog.
Oh no.
Okay.
Do it.
The most haunted cells. All right. Okay, so cell 14D, as in Delta. This is the most haunted cell, most things say.
Yeah, that one got mentioned a lot when I was...
Yeah.
Because sometimes I couldn't look up specifically what I was trying to look up, so I had to look up hauntings at Alcatraz and then try and scroll past everything I wasn't covering. And I remember seeing 14D a lot.
I wondered how easy, your specific haunting
difficult. It was difficult. I have very little, so
that's fine.
Might be the shortest I've ever had.
Well, yeah, it was a bit limited with kind of like one ghost or whatever, but there's never always as much as you want. You're like, give me more stories.
Yeah.
I always want pictures and everything. Not that helps you guys on a podcast so much, but
this is the perfect medium to talk about pictures is on a podcast.
I am the type that goes onto the Instagram when they talk about the pictures when I'm listening to a podcast. I don't know about you guys, but if it's interesting enough.
I sometimes post them on Facebook, not always, but they're always on our website. Especially last week's. Shout out to Derpy Mugshot and Unitard Capone.
Right, you loved Unitard Capone.
Yeah, when I was editing again, I was like, Unitard Capone, and then I was
but you put his Derpy cool Mugshot too, right?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I put his regular mugshot.
Okay.
And then when I was doing the website, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I said I was gonna name these so people knew which ones we were talking about." Not that you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. It's very clear.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
but
the other two guys
I
look the
did caption
same.
them. I did
Yeah.
caption them Derpy Mugshot and Unitard Capone. So
Yeah, why is it only like what was the hot one's name? Clarence? Yeah. He looks like
yeah.
he's holding in a fart or something. His eyes are closed and he's got his lips in a weird I don't
Yeah.
know.
But if you've ever wanted to know what Al Capone's arms and legs look like,
Whether
go
he has a
check
little
out the
bubble
pic.
butt or not.
Yeah. Him and
Does
his
his
little
bubble butt rival Loveland Frogman's?
Yes.
Go to Patreon for more details. And
Oh
pictures.
yeah, that was Patreon episode.
It was.
I
We did a
did put the
Clash of the
Loveland
Cryptids.
Frogman as the thumbnail, so if you go to our website, it has that picture, the bubble butt picture.
Nice. Yes, but you
The
guys can
bubble
also
butt.
join Patreon even for free now. It's got a cool feature, and then you see what we're putting out, and if you want to join,
Unlock it.
because yeah,
Mm.
it's very fun. They've definitely upgraded, so I like it.
And you
All
told
right.
me that now our Patreon episodes, we're hoping, are going to be showing up in our Spotify feed. They're just still going to be
Mm-hmm.
locked, but you will get, I think,
Yeah.
notifications of those when those get released too.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's supposed to, so we're just gonna
yeah.
see.
Yeah, we'll see towards the end of this month if it comes out. It has the
Yeah.
little episode and description. I don't even know what it's going to look like.
I
But
know,
yeah.
I want to know too. And they said you can listen to the Patreon ones on Spotify, but since they've upgraded Patreon to the app, you really could do it either
Yeah.
way. And at least it doesn't, you don't have to like keep it open like a freaking like web
Tab.
page kind of thing anymore, like you did
Yeah.
before. Yeah, it was really kind of annoying. So
Yeah,
kudos to
definitely.
Patreon for
Yeah,
them.
definitely
Yeah.
more user friendly. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cell 14D was used as a solitary confinement cell from what I read.
Okay.
So yeah, it was not good. It was like the hole or whatever chucked in there. Not fun. And very, very damaging, as we'll see, to
Okay.
people's mental health. Not great. But this particular cell apparently had a man who supposedly died screaming that something like demonic was coming for him.
Oh
He
God.
was saying that something was in there with glowing eyes, and in the morning they found him dead. And he had been strangled by someone or something. So
Wow. Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
really
terrifying.
creepy.
Yeah, I was like, well, don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Um, no wonder it's so haunted. Like,
Yeah. That's creepy.
yeah, there was another man named Rufus or Roof McCain who was kept in that cell for over 3 years in solitary confinement.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, not long after he was let out, he stabbed another prisoner. Um, it was later, he was acquitted, though, due to them finding that there had been irreparable damage done to his psyche. Like, duh.
Yeah, 3 years in solitary is insane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard you feeling effects on your mental health after like a matter of days. Like, it's
Probably.
not good. Pretty inhumane. But yeah, many people just feel that the room gets really, really cold, the temperature plummets, bad feelings in the room, all that jazz.
Yeah. Um I think I had talked to my dad about wanting, like, he and I want to go to Alcatraz one day to do one of the tours. We both think it'd be really
Oh,
cool, but
yeah.
he is kind of weary about it because his friend, him and his wife had gone to San Francisco and they did the Alcatraz tour,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad said that his friend like had such a bad feeling during the tour and everything that they had to leave the prison, and then I think they ended
Oh,
up leaving the tour early. Like they took the next ferry back and their tour wasn't even done and everything.
wow.
Um because he felt so like physically ill being on the island and everything because of its history and
Damn.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
you
told me
totally
about
hear
that
about
so
that.
many times. I'm like,
Right.
oh,
Because,
that's
like,
creepy.
yeah, people that are sensitive, people that consider themselves an empath, and, like, yeah, they
Yeah.
can feel those kind of, yeah, auras and stuff. Sometimes I wish. I'm like, it sounds cool, but also, like, very overwhelming.
And probably just like physically and emotionally just exhausting and probably
Yeah,
draining.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, as if you're experiencing all those emotions yourself, for sure.
Yeah.
Oof. Heavy.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so then there's like the I don't know, it sounds like it's all haunted. The A, B, and C cell blocks where you hear crying, moaning, all that kind of voices. And the ghost called the Butcher haunts here. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, he was a former hitman. I guess that's why he got his nickname. Um,
Okay.
and he was murdered there in the 1940s. Hmm.
Huh.
In 1984, a ranger and night watchman named Rex Norman, amazing, um, was awakened by the sound of a weighty steel door swinging wildly in cell block C. The sound stopped when he got there, but began again the next night, and the next, and the next. It'd
Ooh, that's creepy.
be so annoying. um, this was kind of cool. Something I came across too that says that there's stuff even underneath the Alcatraz building itself and the surface area there, the land. There's stuff under the ground.
Oh,
Um,
what's there?
yeah. So under Alcatraz, a study published in Near Surface Geophysics detailed the steps archaeologists took to confirm the longtime suspicions of historians that when Alcatraz prison was built in the early 20th century, it was constructed over the Civil War era military fortification. It just built
Okay.
right over it.
Yeah. I mean, we tend to build over stuff. We've kind of
Hmm.
run out of land, especially in like
Yeah.
the US.
And it just,
Not so much Canada. We have a lot of uninhabited area, but
yeah. They, and then it's like, it was probably cheaper and easier not to
yeah.
demolish something when you don't have like bulldozers and shit. um, so then they used ground penetrating radar and terrestrial laser scans to map out what lies beneath. um, and they used historical maps and photos, and they found that below the yard there's fully buried structures, underground ammunition magazines, and tunnels. Yee,
Ew.
tunnels.
Yeah.
Damn.
Abandoned underground?
Yeah. Our favorites.
Yeah, we already talked about this just a few episodes ago.
Ugh. um, yeah. Oh my God. The underground, that it's like the way everybody references The Descent as being one of the most terrifying because they're stuck in a cave. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's all like
it's all the
underground.
claustrophobia stuff.
Yeah.
Gets a
And the
lot of people.
creatures, need to
Yeah.
rip you limb from limb. um, so the buildings were first noticed by the US government after they took, wait, what? No, not the buildings. Rewind. The area that with the island was first noticed by the US government after they took control of California from Mexico in the 1840s, and it was eyed as a good site for a future military fortification. Um, rock faces made for a natural defensive fort, and then brick buildings were made to house up to 200 soldiers with enough provisions to withstand a 4-month siege. Um, and then by 1860, it was already being used as a prison. So that would have been during the Civil War. And then it was called Fort Alcatraz and was used as the official military prison for the West Coast. Fort
Okay.
Alcatraz. Yeah. Not until 1910 were new cell blocks added for military prisoners. And then basically 20 years later, the Federal Bureau of Prisons took over operations. And in August 1934, the first federal prisoners arrived, and the last one left by 1963. So That's an interesting history. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think.
It's had a lot of uses, but it seems to always have
Yeah.
been very like prison containment oriented. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Whether it's Civil War or you're just regular prisoners, like
yeah.
prisoners of war. Ugh. Had a lot of prisoners. I liked this quote, which it was actually just from a Medium article. The website Medium, if anyone's not familiar, it comes up a lot in our research. It's not a
Yeah.
medium length article.
We're familiar.
I'm like, I might have
I'm
referenced this
familiar.
before. I
Yeah.
know. I would think people listening to our types of podcasts would be, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it said they say break the rules and you go to prison. Break the prison rules and you go to Alcatraz.
Oh,
Right?
I like
And it's
that.
yeah, it was like an anonymous quote that was written somewhere on Alcatraz Island, I think. I don't know. Um, yeah, so just in general, many visitors have heard all kinds of male voices, screams, whistles, doors closing, sobbing, and moaning. There's an entity they just call the Thing that wanders the grounds,
Oh, that
right?
sounds lovely.
Oh, it has glowing eyes. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
right. And then
Creepy.
the aptly named Ghost Woman of Alcatraz has been caught on tape staring into one couple's camera. I wish I had a picture.
Oh, that sounds creepy. I
Right?
hate the things of like people that take pictures on tours and they
Yeah.
don't see stuff until they get home and the pictures are
Ooh.
developed. That always gets me. I'm like, there's
Yeah.
something so clearly behind you. And it's like at the
Oh,
time you didn't see it. It's so creepy.
that is creepy. Actually, I can show you a picture that I found on Reddit from someone who went there later.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
they caught a figure. Anyway, I'll get
cool.
to it at the end here. I'm almost done, but I have a few more prisoner experiences. So it ties
Sweet.
it all together, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also just how bleak it was. Okay, because they each
Yeah.
had like their description. Anyway, the guy named Robert Stroud, if you remember, he was the one that you called Birdman,
Birdman, yeah.
the fake Birdman. No, I'm not going to get into the birds are real again. I can't do it again.
The robot the
The
robot Birdman.
so Robert Stroud described his 17 years there as a living death,
Yeah, that's creepy. I mean, from
right?
his pictures, he did kind of look like Living Death, so
Death warmed over.
yeah, he did look pretty grotesque. I don't know.
He got old in there, yep.
Yeah,
um, he would often hear strange sounds and voices in his cell and felt like he was being watched.
yeah, that's creepy.
Drive you a little crazy, I guess.
Especially now that I know like their individual cells
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff. Like, unless somebody's walking past or maybe across the cell block, you probably don't necessarily or
Yeah.
shouldn't necessarily have the feeling you're being watched, but
No, and you're always
yeah.
alone,
Yeah, so to have
basically.
that feeling would probably be
Yeah.
pretty creepy.
Um, William G. Baker, another former prisoner, had seen a ghostly figure of another former prisoner who had been murdered in the laundry room.
Oh, fun.
Right. It just goes back and back. People have been seeing ghosts here forever. And he would hear moans and groans from the walls as well. So much fun. Um, a man named Henry Young, subject of the movie Murder in the First, spent 3 years in solitary confinement, much like Rufus McCain. And he actually had multiple, he said, visitations from McCain and would speak with his spirit. It was like he was coming to keep him company.
Oh,
I
oh.
know. Um, Frank Weatherman had a book called My 12 Years on Alcatraz. He called it a place of evil, and he would hear ghostly footsteps and see a phantom guard. Um, and then finally, what do I have here? Just that on September 10th, 1984, the park system brought psychic Sylvia Brown to Alcatraz, accompanied by a CBS News team. Brown identified the troublemaking ghost as Butcher Malkowitz, a hitman who'd been killed by another prisoner in the laundry room. Oh, he was the one that got
Okay.
killed in the laundry room, right? Okay. During a
Uh,
seance, Brown tried to convince the butcher's ghost to leave the prison, but the ghost refused. But even if the butcher does finally up and leave, Alcatraz will undoubtedly remain what the Indians always said it was, an island of evil spirits.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did
That's
it
my
really say
say.
why they feel like it's evil? Did you run across that?
No.
Huh.
No.
That'd be interesting to find out, like
I
why
know.
they hold those beliefs about it, because it seems to be like predate the history
Mm-hmm.
of the Alcatraz's use. So,
True.
like, why do they hold this belief that that island was maybe has always been evil since before it was like inhabited or anything?
Exactly. Yeah, like was there a curse? Like what happened? Because
Yeah.
whole places can be. I just listened to one about a whole town, Dudley Town, that was supposedly cursed because the whole family got cursed and then like a bunch of them went crazy and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should do like cursed towns or oh my god, I'm obsessed with like ghost towns and like
Yeah,
evil
ghost towns
towns.
are cool to visit. We've done a
Yeah.
couple while on road trips and stuff,
Oh
going to
yeah,
different
yeah,
places where it's like abandoned, but it's kind of touristy.
yeah. Yeah, there's some
Makes
good ones
great
here.
pictures.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know me and my photography, and just like everything looks so pretty. It's all
Oh,
abandoned and creepy.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That could be you and my mom on a road trip. She'd be like, "Oh, look, dilapidated building. Let's go look."
Yeah, all my photography, my I don't like taking photography with and like photos with people in them. I always like just
Mm,
landscapes or buildings or plants or animals.
okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to get that. So yeah, abandoned
Hmm.
places. It's very in my realm of what I actually like to take pictures of. So
Yeah, people can be hard. Like I've always admired how my mom will just print me out a bunch of photos and be like, "When did you take a picture of, like the
yeah,
the three of us, me and my sister and my brother, we were walking down the beach," and I was like, "I didn't see her
the
take that picture," and
the
she just like
candid
snaps
photos are
one.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's sweet.
exactly. Yeah, we're on candid camera. All right. Well, we'll be right back after these messages.
Yeah.
Well, all our longtime listeners will definitely know that recording a podcast is not always easy.
No.
Nope. So you better believe, like, when we find something we like, that we're going to probably stick to it and not look for anything else. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love Zencaster. Uh, when we tried it, we were like, okay, finally, I wanted to have the video and it's what, up to 4K video, which has been
Yeah.
effing cool. I can see every pore on Kelsey. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope not.
But it's great video and like just really easy on this one. So like once we stopped recording on our phones, I was like, yeah, this is the one for us. So even though sometimes our computers fuck up, it always comes through for us in the end because we've never lost like a recording, knock on wood, and every time we've had to use it, it's just been really great and really easy, and everything's just recorded when we wanted it to, which is, it's a lot to ask for when you podcast as much as we do.
Yeah. It's nice that each of us has our own separate audio recording that you can download and edit. So it makes when one of us
not
is
not us.
doing something or has something, it's easy. You can edit that out even with the other person was talking because you have two separate tracks that you can edit. Yeah, it's one of the reasons we love Zencaster. Definitely, it makes it a lot easier. And the audio quality is also a lot better than any of the other programs we tried using in the past.
Yes, it is the best. So Go to zencaster.com/pricing and use my code Cryptic, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan.
We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Keep it cryptic.
How do you think the world will end? Alien invasion? Nuclear disaster? Another, more deadly pandemic? I'm Jackie Moranti, and I'm the host of Cause of Death, 100 Seconds to Midnight. I talk about the things that could obliterate mankind. I call it pre-apocalyptic nonfiction. The doomsday clock was set at 100 seconds to midnight from January of 2020 to January of 2023. On January 24th, 2023, the Board of Atomic Scientists moved the hands of the clock even closer to midnight. Now, it's set at 90 seconds to midnight, the closest it's ever been. From nuclear disaster to environmental threats to food and water crises, find out how mankind is destroying itself 1 second at a time. If you haven't listened to my podcast, you should.
Well,
Oh man.
welcome back.
Hello.
It's so weird for me to go second. Like,
what do I do?
yeah, it's been so long. Yeah. Interesting. I
know.
learned
I
so
liked
much from yours. That was really cool.
Oh, good. I had fun doing
Yeah.
those notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had fun doing mine too. I just didn't find a whole lot. I found less than I thought I would, and then I had kind of told you last night, I think, when we were talking, that I had tried even to get like firsthand accounts, little like stories maybe from people that actually said they saw stuff.
Yeah.
Went on Reddit and was like looking stuff up. I couldn't find anything.
Oh,
So
that's funny.
yeah, I kind of just got stuck with what I have, and then I knew you were doing some other stuff. So I was like, I'm not going to worry about it too much. It'll just be a little shorter, and then it'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, no, it's true. And I think now that you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, I think I did even find a story on Reddit. So, yeah, there was definitely lots more to choose from the general haunts. So, I think it'll even.
Yeah. Yeah, I took the direction I wanted to do Al Capone specifically because he is kind of said to haunt Alcatraz. He is also said to haunt somewhere else. Neither of those two places are the place he died at.
Oh. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he went and died at home in Florida, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. I think I
Yeah,
have
I
it
think I said
later
that
on.
last
I think
week.
I have
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I have like a tiny little thing, but yeah, my notes is just over 1 page. So very short.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I think my next shortest has been like 2.5, 3 pages, so this beat it quite significantly.
Hey, if there's no room, if there's
Yeah.
no need for filler, we don't need to put it in. People
Yeah.
don't need that.
Yeah, so Al Capone is kind of rumored to be haunt one of the cells at Alcatraz. I think we had talked about, or you had talked about it, that before being sent to Alcatraz, he was incarcerated at Atlanta's federal penitentiary back in 1931.
Yeah, everybody went there.
Yeah,
Seemed
as
like.
well as time at Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, which was that one of the ones you covered in the haunted prisons? Or maybe I've just heard about it being haunted like so much. Eastern State Penitentiary.
Yeah, because I did the squirrel cage jail, and I think we did it institutions or sanitariums or something too.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting confused, but I've heard that one's also supposed to be pretty haunted.
Yes, we should do another round of prisons. Yeah.
It said he was living a much easier life than many of the other prisoners because he often bribed the guards at these two prisons. This was before he went to Alcatraz. So I'll have a picture, and I think we put it with your pictures last week too. It's kind of, they described as like a luxurious thing. So he had
Right.
like nice red sheets. He had kind of a writing desk and
Oh.
nicer upgraded furniture in the eastern state. I don't know if it was Eastern State or the Atlanta one, but
Right. I
um
think he got pretty good treatment there from what I read at the Atlanta one.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but when Al Capone arrived at Alcatraz, any sort of these special privileges that he may have grown accustomed to ended, and he wouldn't be able to keep
Wah,
bribing
wah.
any of the guards. It said he tried. He apparently even tried to kind of make himself out to be like the leader of the prisoners, like kind of
Oh.
an unofficial leader, being like, I speak for the prisoners and you guys can talk through me and like all that stuff. And it kind of just wasn't happening. So he kind of backed off. Uh
Wow.
yeah.
That's funny. I am
Uh
the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I don't know why I
yeah.
said that.
I love the Lorax, okay? I think it's my favorite Dr. Seuss
They
one.
all can have some pretty good messages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the Thneed is just like the most ridiculous
Oh.
story. That's that stupid thing that they're knitting from all the trees. That's that one.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
hard word to
Every
say.
everyone needs a Thneed. It can be everything. It can be a
Oh
sweater,
my
it could be
god.
a toaster warmer, like all these stupid things. It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And the one where they had
Everyone needs
some of them
a
have
Thneed.
stars on their bellies and the others had no stars upon theirs. I like that one too.
Yeah. Uh he was assigned inmate number 85, and it said he was described as keeping a low profile amongst the first 100 prisoners that were transferred there. So he was part of the first 100 that were ever sent there.
Oh. Probably
Yeah.
them the Civil War ones or whatever.
Yeah, I think after it must have opened as a federal prison.
Right.
He was the first part of the first 100. It was said he
Huh.
spent much of his time reading in the library and playing in the band, as you talked
Right.
about last week. One,
That gets me every time. The band.
yeah,
Making the
said what
band.
one prisoner, John M. Stadig, who spoke to the Madeira Tribune in December of 1934, said, quote, Al Capone gets no more privileges than the rest, except that he does not get beaten or thrown into the dungeon. He has too much political influence for that, end quote. So I
Oof.
guess he kind of did get special treatment. It seems like people, um,
Hmm.
you kind of wanted to watch yourself around him,
Yeah, and they
maybe.
didn't send
So
him into the hole in the
yeah,
solitary.
I
Yeah.
guess not. Um,
And
yeah.
they
So
sometimes called it the strip cell because they throw you in naked.
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably had rats trying to bite you. Ugh,
He couldn't take
awful.
his unitard. His little bare bum. I'm sorry.
And his pudgy little body.
He has such pudgy cheeks on his
He
face.
does. He's so. If anybody
Like,
needed to be called Babyface, it was him.
I think so. Yeah, like if he didn't get the scar and when he doesn't wear the hats or have the big cigar, like he
Yeah.
looks like a little boy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Due to his syphilis, thought to have been caught from sex workers when he was
Right.
a bouncer at the brothel.
Right.
uh, he started to suffer from cognitive problems. That's actually called neurosyphilis.
Ooh.
Yeah. So not to get too gross, it says syphilis starts with sores on your genitals. The second stage is a body rash, and then it said that the
Ooh.
syphilis at this point like disappears when in reality it's actually boring its way into your major
Oh.
organs, often the heart, liver, and the brain. And
Oh
that causes the
no.
neurosyphilis. Yeah. So like
Ooh.
the exterior symptoms, I guess, go away. But that's because it's like inside, it's so internally attacking your body now.
Ooh, it's like
Um,
incubating.
yeah.
Not to
Uh,
get too gross, proceeds to get so gross. Just kidding.
well, that was all I had on there.
No,
Just
no, no. If the trigger
yeah,
warning is implied when you say the word syphilis, I think.
yeah, pretty gross.
Mm.
For over a decade, the syphilis had made its way into Al Capone's brain. It said
Oh,
it had even started to do this before he arrived at Alcatraz. So,
wow.
um, yeah, during his time at Alcatraz, he was described basically as certifiably nuts. His behavior became so bizarre that they ended up releasing him due to good behavior. And then the
Oh.
source, which I thought was just funny, but also kind of bad, but it's probably bad that I think this is so funny how they worded this. It says, it turns out you can escape Alcatraz, you just have to let an STD destroy your brain.
No.
I was like, oh damn.
It's funny because
Uh,
it's true. Yeah, it's like I
yeah,
wonder
that's
it just
pretty
gets
bad.
to a point where yeah, it's not treated early enough and you just can't do anything
Yeah.
anymore. It sounds
When I
like,
was
or they
looking
couldn't
it
at the
up,
time.
neurosyphilis is like its own diagnosis, and it seems to
Mm.
maybe still be a thing today, because when I was
Oh.
looking up like syphilis, like the word neurosyphilis came up a lot. So I think it is something that is very common to happen.
Rip your
Which was pretty
browser
crazy.
history, by the way.
No, I was still, all that stuff was still coming up in regards to Al Capone. I wasn't just Googling syphilis. Yeah. It
Yeah.
said that during his time at Alcatraz, he complained about being haunted himself, which I thought was kind of cool,
Ooh.
by one of the victims of the St. Valentine's Day massacre.
Ah, makes sense.
Um, yeah, that of the ghost of James Jimmy Clark, who was a low-level member of one of Capone's rival gangs. That gang was led by George Bugs Moran, which I had heard of George Moran before, or
Okay,
Bugs
yeah,
Moran.
sure.
While being imprisoned at Eastern State Penitentiary, had become already convinced that he was being haunted, often shouting out at night and even having conversations with someone
Oh,
when
wow.
like nobody was there.
Yeah, like raving.
Yeah, and that was before he got to Alcatraz. Um, yeah, after he was released from Alcatraz, it was said that he had hoped that the ghost of Jimmy wouldn't follow him. However,
Hmm.
Jimmy stayed with him and is reported to continue to have appeared to him. Uh, it is even said that he ordered a psychic to try and get rid of Jimmy, but this didn't work. After his release from prison, Al had bodyguards who often ran into Capone's room at night because they thought he was being attacked,
Oh my
only to
God.
find him alone in the room. So
Well,
I
if he's
guess,
in cell
yeah.
14D, maybe he was being attacked. So,
Yeah, but this is after he was released. Like, he's just at home. And he's
right.
still,
Oh,
yeah. Um,
not good.
Yeah, people visiting Alcatraz have often reported hearing the ghost of Al Capone playing his banjo for the band. It is heard by many who are coming, or it is heard by many coming from the shower block. It said that this is where he would sneak in to get extra practice,
Oh,
um, because he was only allowed to practice for an hour a day or something. So he would sneak in
a
there with his
music
banjo
hour.
to
Yeah.
play more.
Oh
Uh,
my God. That's like
eh,
kind of like innocent. The other guys were
yeah,
using music hour to drill, and he's like,
yeah.
no, I want to play
I
my
want to play the
banjo.
banjo.
I get it up at night. What is a Modern Family when Luke starts playing the banjo better than Phil and basically doing everything Phil thinks he could do but better? He's like, "Oh no, my son's
Oh shit.
outstripping me." Plays the banjo. I get it up at night 4 times 2p. I'm really, really old now. Makes me laugh.
That's great.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, one source actually said that one of the reasons he may have been sneaking in specifically into the shower block was because he had a fear that if he went out into the yard, like where kind of the recreation area, that he would
Mm-hmm.
be killed. So he
Mm.
tried to keep himself maybe in a spot where he knew who was in the room a little bit easier than out in the yard with everybody else.
Yeah. Damn.
Uh,
That
yeah.
sucks though.
One thing I ran across said he became so he had like taught himself how to read music and everything while at
Oh.
Alcatraz, I guess. And he got so good at he ended up writing a song called Madonna Mia, which he dedicated to his wife May, which
Aw.
I hadn't heard that before. I
That's
probably could have looked
super
up the
sweet.
song to see if like maybe it's out there, maybe you can listen to it. I don't really know.
Sounds like it
But
might be an Italian.
yeah,
Madonna.
uh,
That's gotta mean, it's that's like you're a beautiful lady.
yeah.
You're a perfect woman.
His cell, which was number 181, is said to be a hotspot for paranormal activity, and people have reported seeing his ghostly figure standing at the bars, peering out into the yard. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, I couldn't find any specific of these sighting stories, like firsthand accounts. I didn't run across anything, sadly.
Okay.
Um, but last week we were talking about like net worth. For somebody else, I think it was when we were
Yeah.
talking about the kidnapping, like ransom money or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
There
so I
was
ended up
yeah.
calculating because a couple sources did say what Al Capone's net worth was when he died, or at
Oh.
some point. I guess maybe the highest it was recorded at. So Al Capone died on January 25th, 1947, at the age of just 48. He was very young.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And his net worth, which I calculated, would be it would be over $2 billion Canadian today, which
Holy
is
shit.
crazy. Yeah, so he was worth a shit ton of money.
All that
More than the
tax evasion.
Kardashians. No.
No.
Yeah, a whole lot of tax evasion and suing the
It's
government over milk expiry dates. No.
it's definitely a good lesson to wear those condoms, kids.
Yeah, lest syphilis destroy your brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I ran across. I wish I could have found like specific accounts of anything. It
Mm-hmm.
was kind of more like general, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that makes sense because yeah, specifically looking up. It's like, yeah, just have if I was just to look up just the butcher, there wasn't that much on him, like
Yeah.
just certain ghosts, but oh yeah, he's very interesting. So I always like to talk about
Yeah.
figures in history that you might not know much about and you know the main thing, but it's like, well, what else was there? And like the movies don't always get it right.
Yeah.
But oh
Yeah, he was worth a lot of money. I wasn't expecting it to be over $2 billion. Like, that's a pretty lofty net worth for people, even by today's standards. To even surpass $1 billion is pretty like insane even nowadays. So for it to be like 2 billion is pretty wild.
shouldn't have cheated on what was her name? May? You wrote the poem about her?
Yeah, he wrote the song about May.
Damn dog. Just keep it in your pants.
Yeah.
Oh
I
dear.
think it had talked about when they got married, so I don't know when that was in relation to him already having syphilis or not, or what was going on. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Not like Machine Gun Kelly. He stuck with his Catherine. And he was just like, I'll get out of here. And they're like, no, you won't. I was like, dude, you're an idiot for spouting off your mouth.
Yeah.
Criminals.
Yeah, this
They're
is really
smart, but they're not that smart.
No. When I was grocery shopping today, I picked up a book. It was on sale. I didn't end up getting it because it was still too much money for what it was, but it was entitled The Dumbest Criminals in the World and Their Crimes. And
Oh,
then
nice.
I was like, ooh, like a book about Florida man things, but it looked like
Oh
each
my
one was only
God.
like a page long. So it's kind of like,
Okay.
oh, okay, like I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah. New miniseries, right? Like
Yeah.
the amount of ones where, like, I'm listening to one the other day and they mailed the murder weapon back to their mom's house or something. You're just
Oh,
like,
I think I've heard of that
okay.
of a couple times. Yeah, where they mail evidence and it's like, oh my god,
Or they have like
people
a little checklist, like crime to do, basically. Yeah, you're just like,
commit the crime, hide murder weapon, dispose of gloves, burn clothes. Uh
yeah, these are the people you should be hiring to do your hits,
Finish my
people.
to-do list, burn my to-do list. Second to-do list, did I burn my to-do list?
Get you someone
Although,
named the Butcher or something. But even he got
yeah,
killed. I mean, you never.
Yeah, even he
involved.
had a hit out on him. That's
Exactly.
crazy. Wow. Yeah, we'll
Dang.
definitely have to revisit this one, definitely for the inmates. There's so many more inmates and different crimes and everything that have been
Yeah.
committed. I think all that stuff is just crazy. It's some of the worst of the worst.
Yeah. A lot of different prisoners that were some of the worst, and then some just kept escaping and talking
Yeah.
about escaping. They're like, go over here and settle down. Oh my god.
Yeah, go sit in the corner. Your timeout's at Alcatraz. Yeah.
You want to hear a 5-star review?
Ooh, yes, I would love to.
Yes, we do. I think this one I might have read it a while ago because I remember seeing this one by this person on our Good Pods. But it looks
Oh,
like they
okay.
also put it on iTunes because they are awesome. And that
Nice.
is, yes, I know who it is. It's Zach Derby, and we follow each other on Good Pods or whatever because he hosts the Neatcast, and
Oh, nice. Yay. Thank you, Sam.
yes, he's one of the hosts. But strangely enough, he's one of the hosts that's known for being the more skeptical of the three, which is kind of funny.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so I find this review even better because of
Even
that.
better?
Yeah, yeah.
Aw.
He
Okay, what does
says,
it say?
so much historical info on locations all over the world, along with spirits, cryptids, and some true crime mixed in for good measure. Plus, Kelsey and Alanna are treasures. Give them a listen.
Aw, that's so cute.
That's
I
very
like it.
sweet. It's yeah. I was like, oh, you like really described us pretty good.
Yeah, we do a lot of a whole mixture of variety of topics.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, anything mysterious really kind of gets my interest, whether it's a mystery of a who done it with the crime or
Yeah.
like just what the fuck happened here. Aliens, or was it something else, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love getting that. And that's very sweet. He just,
Yeah. We're
very,
treasures,
very
Alanna.
nice.
Oh my god.
And you listen, and you're not the one, like the other guy. Mike is the one that'll bring the cryptids, the evidence, as he'll be like evidence, and then he'll be the one that talk about the recent Bigfoot sightings or whatever's the latest,
Yeah.
or just whatever cryptid he found funny that week.
I did end up watching the video you sent me of Bigfoot
Oh
walking and then
yeah,
sitting down. It was
yeah.
cool.
It was a
Yeah.
pretty good quality video once you see him,
Yeah.
because like I said, he's kind of the same color as a lot of the background, but then it's like
Yeah.
walk, 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 plunk.
Yeah, he does just plop right down. Just like sit, and if I don't move, they won't see me.
Maybe he had to take a shit. What do we know?
Yeah.
He's like, damn, when did this train get on it's off schedule. I thought I was good to
Yeah.
walk through this field, but it's running late or something. Yeah.
Just
Oh,
holding up the timetable like this train was supposed to be here 10 minutes ago. I should have missed it.
cryptids, they're just like us. They get caught out the pants down.
Hands down. Uh,
Oh, anyway.
it's so
Um,
good. What are we doing
yeah.
next week?
Oh, do we talk about that? We do that
No.
sometimes. No, I know, but yeah. Have we? No, we haven't. Oh, yeah, we're doing a true crime episode, of course. And we
Ah,
decided to go somewhere around the world because we hadn't done that in a while.
a long time. It had been months, I guess, since
Eh,
we did like an
Yeah,
international true crime, as I've been calling them.
and never on this continent. So we are doing
Yeah.
Kenyan crimes.
Yeah.
Crimes of Kenya. Not crimes of people named Kenyan, like the girl from Wine and
Wine
Crime.
and crime. When I
Or
was
any.
Googling it, like Kenyan true crime, I was like, is it just gonna come up with true crime cases that have been covered by Kenyan on Wine and Crime?
Well, no, I think there's been some victims with that name too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
I already chose my
yeah.
case.
Did you?
Yeah.
When did you do that? Okay.
Like right before we started recording. I was like,
When
I'm
it's
gonna
fresh.
quickly start looking stuff up, and then I was like, oh, this one's interesting.
Yeah.
open 15 tabs about it. Yeah.
I was frantically polishing my notes off. Texting
It's
my
okay.
brother.
That was me before you well, when I was texting you last night, I was like, I'm gonna find some more stories. And then I looked for 10 minutes and was like, I can't find anything. Guess it's left. Okay.
Yeah, I found one story maybe when I looked up like haunted
Yeah.
Alcatraz on Reddit or something. I remember I
I would have
saved.
thought, like, because so
Yeah.
many people have done, like, ghost investigations there, and it
Yeah.
is, like, you can take so many tours there. I really
Hmm.
thought I would have been able to come across maybe a little bit more detail, maybe just even one or two things, but
Well, and I don't know if I'd be allowed to post. Oh, I think I posted pictures from Reddit before. I did the one ghost. What? I think I just
yeah,
showed it to you.
in Scotland, I think we did a couple.
Yeah. Anyway, nobody's sued us yet, knock on wood. But um shit, what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because there's this one picture I was telling you during my segment I did find on
Yeah.
Reddit where somebody um I think they might have seen it after they looked at the picture again after they were done their tour. Everybody's down on the ground floor, and then there's like those walkways on the second level where like the guards would have probably been, I guess. And
Okay.
they like zoom in and they're like, look, um there's you see like kind of a black shadow figure up at on
Creepy.
the walkway. Yeah, and they're like they asked the people there if people are ever walking around up there. It's like, no, that's all closed off now. So there shouldn't have been anyone
Wow.
up there. So yeah, maybe I can post that one. I'll definitely do it if I can, and I'll show you when you get here because we're gonna hang out soon.
Yeah, we're having another movie day.
Hey,
We're gonna work
self-care,
on some.
guys.
We're
Gotta
gonna try and
socialize.
do some video content for you guys. So
That
it'd
too,
be
because we're
an
boss bitches.
awesome, an awesome time to join our Patreon. Because we're gonna have
Yes.
some more content coming out this month.
That's right. You can get the videos at the $5 level. So it's a cup of coffee because coffee is
Yeah,
expensive.
just
But
once a month. That's it. Just one time a month.
I know
You can join anytime in the month because we set ours up to just bill you on that day of the month. Again, it won't bill you again on the
the
1st or
first,
whatever.
yeah. It's annoying when
Yeah.
it does it like that.
Yeah. We set ours
Yeah.
up to be whatever day you sign up. It'll be that day every month. If you're worried
We
about
need to go
that.
watch or listen to the Clash of the Cryptids.
Yeah. Find out all about
And if
Frogman's ass and what
that's
we think of
right.
it.
It did. I picked Frogman and she picked the Mongolian Deathworm. That's what
Yeah.
it's called, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
really an interesting mashup that we couldn't have thought of better if we had
Yeah.
tried to pick two good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So
um,
weird.
I know. And if people like it, yeah, I still think we could do a follow-up where we pit them together with their D&D stats, but I don't know. It could be fun. I enjoyed it, and we got some comments on our Instagram post. Everybody be
Oh,
seeing that
really?
Loveland Frogman, and
Yeah.
he be
His
clapping.
thick legs and
There was some peach
an ass to
emojis.
rival. Yeah, his ass to
From
rival Mothman.
yes, we got the peach emoji and the like
Nice.
nice couple comments from Twisted and Uncorked. I love them. They do some good cryptids too. Go listen to those guys. And
Sweet.
yeah, I guess it's kind of a short one. And until next week,
Yeah.
rate, review, subscribe.
Follow us on Patreon. Send us. You already said review. Damn it.
5-star, 5-star. You want to do the keep it cryptic together?
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Keep it
Keep it
cryptic.
cryptic. That was good. Yay.
They do on Twisted and Uncorked, they do keep it twisted. They say it together. And so
Okay.
now whenever I hear it in the meantime, I literally will think, keep it twisted. It's crazy how taglines get in your head.
Yes.
We need to get in people's heads. All right. I don't know when I'm stopping that. Probably after we said the no. Bye.
Bye.
Oops.
pew, 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 pew.
I'm
Okay.
hot. Is he up on the thing behind you? I heard Gordon.
He's been up there the whole time.
He looks like a pile of laundry from this angle. That's funny. You can just see him kind of hanging. Oh, that's the foot sticking out and
Yeah.
over.
Yep.
Too funny. No, he's been pretty quiet. Amazing.
Yeah, he's been sleeping over there. It's good. He's not over here kicking the microphone or something.
No, I just heard my dog a minute ago. I came downstairs. He's eating his treat. I was like, I thought I heard you. He puts that treat toy in his mouth and it acts kind of like a little megaphone where it makes his voice sound all weird and hollow and loud.
Aw.
Yeah.
This has been Castles and Cryptids. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and our YouTube channel. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit. On our website, you can listen to all of our episodes as well as view pictures for each of our segments. Check out our Patreon page to view all of our tiers and become a Patreon supporter today to unlock monthly bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes content. We are working on an Ask Us Anything. You can submit questions by social media or by email at castlesandcryptids@gmail.com. Do you have a spooky ghost story, a creepy cryptid sighting, or a thrilling true crime tale you would like to share and have us include in a future episode? Send us your listener story by social media or by email. Please include the name that you would like mentioned. Our music is by Kobe Fair. Our logo and artwork is by Antonio Garcia. Thanks for listening.